A very good morning and welcome to Val di Fiemme for the final of the Tour de Ski, the last day today, the climb up the Alpe d'Huez that is growing in reputation as the years go on. This is the 5th running of the Tour, and maybe for the first time someone is about to win it 2 years in succession. Justyna Kowalczyk of Poland, an astonishing Tour so far, has put herself in an immensely strong position. She's 2 minutes and 8 seconds clear of Mariana Longa. Now, Mike, let's have a quick look at the profile. It is brutal.
It's quite amazing for the 10th day on the 8th day of racing. This is well, there's a little climb after the start, then you see the descent down to the base of Alpe d'Huez, and 407 meters climb in 3.2 kilometers at the very end of this race.
That's a little steeper than 1 in 4 by my reckoning. That's the final stage. Now we pick it up. Apologies for the slight delay. Everything running a little bit late this weekend because of the weather. Warm winds sweeping across the Alps, causing havoc in Schonach, and of course slight delays with the Alpine. Here is the race leader, Justyna Kowalczyk, out on her own. Mike, 2 minutes and 8 seconds at the start, her advantage. How much ground do you think she's covered before the second runner, Mariana Longa, set off?
Well, she's a long way out. She's going to be, what, some 300 meters? At least, maybe more, before Mariana Longa is going to attack behind her.
Well, maybe even more, because what are they taking? The women are now down to about 2:45 for a kilometre.
We're looking half a kilometre.
We're looking half a kilometre plus. Now, these little dots give you some idea. The first is the yellow, Kowalczyk working along from left to right as far as you look at your screen towards the bottom of the Alpe d'Huez. Longa in second place. And Therese Johaug of Norway. What a fabulous run from her yesterday.
She said she felt so good. How can you feel good after so many races? But it works for some, it doesn't work for others. And I think Therese, starting 5th today, will make her way. In fact, I'm just going to try and confirm that. I think she's up to 3rd already. I was going to say she'll make it up to 3rd. 3:21 behind. She's chasing Follis, who's 2:33 behind. Surely she hasn't caught her already.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if she's caught Ariana Follis, who started 2:33, Therese Johaug to 3:21. So that would be a 50-second gain. Unless, of course, very late on, Ariana Follis has withdrawn from the race. There is a chance, but no news has come through through to the commentary positions as yet. We'll confirm that just as soon as we can.
I think that's just one of the Norwegian coaches getting himself along the track.
Yeah, getting into the right position. And 36 left in the women's tour, and all heading towards the toughest ski section of the season. Good to see, Mike, that Kicking Randall of USA, she's made it through to the last stage. There's Mariana Longa wearing 2. Looking very smooth and comfortable. Doesn't look as though she's pushed the pace. Kowalczyk in her pre-race press conference saying, I'm going to take the first 5 kilometres slowly, save some energy for the last 3.7.
Do you know, that's interesting. When we watched Kowalczyk coming along this very section here, which Longa is on, I have never seen her ski in the skating technique so efficiently. And that's because she's so relaxed. She said she would take this bit easy. And well, Longa's only gained 1 second, and Kowalczyk's so relaxed at the moment.
Yeah, that's something we were talking about the other day. The actual effect, if you think you're skiing at 90%, you can often be going faster than if you try and ski at 95, 96%.
So true, and for me, certainly the first time Kowalczyk looking relaxed. Well, it is still Follis in 3rd, but I know it's a huge challenge for Therese to pull back 50 seconds on Follis, but I think she can do it. In fact, here she is already.
Now, Therese Johaug leading the way. She's got Petra Majdic for company. Majdic has paid a very high price for skiing so hard in the sprint events, Mike.
Talking about price, Patrick, I'm thinking of Johaug. Instead of 5th place, 25,000 Swiss francs. 3rd place is 50,000. She can double her money by getting up into 3rd place.
Do you think she's thinking about that?
I think it will be in the back of her mind. I mean, yeah, I mean, she's feeling good. She just wants to move up as far as she can. That's her feeling to date.
Charlotte Kaller, of course, the winner of the Tour de Ski back in 2008, and she put in a very good climb time, under 36 minutes for this 9-kilometre leg. And well, it's not going to be her year this year. 3:40 behind at the start of today's race. The 23-year-old Olympic 10-kilometre champion just needs a bit more sprinting power to compete. Welcome back to Val di Fiemme. The athletes working their way from the town centre towards the bottom of the downhill slope known as the Alpchemise. And already Kowalczyk has gone through in 8:37. She's still got a 2-minute 7-second lead over Mariana Longa, so Longa has only closed down a second at the moment. Arianna Follis, after initial scare, is on the course. No very late withdrawal from her. 2:29 behind, having started 2:33, so she's made a little bit of ground. Maybe wants to challenge her teammate for that second place. And Therese Johaug 2:58 behind now, having started 3:21. That is a phenomenally quick start. Who is the best hill climber of those leading five?
Well, in my opinion, it's Therese Johaug, partly because of her very light frame and her light body weight for climbing up those 400 metres.
She's sort of thrown caution to the wind here, hasn't she, Mike? I think she's going for bust, trying to get on the podium, and she knows if she wants to do that, she's got to work hard in the initial stages. Everyone else affording themselves the luxury of cruising to the base of the climb. But if you blow out on the climb, you're going to lose 2, 3, maybe even 4 minutes.
So much if you go over the top, and we have seen that in past Tour de Ski final stages. Those and certainly in the men's race we've seen a huge attack into the base of the hill and then out of energy by the time you're halfway up.
Yeah, it really has been an outstanding tour for the race leader. Here she is, just coming towards the bottom of the climb. I think she'll be just trying to relax her mind. Mike, she won the first stage, the prologue. She won the second stage, the pursuit. She won again stage 6. She finished first in stage 7. And here she is leading the way up the climb. You can't take anything away from her, especially because her sprinting was so good as well.
She's done everything right, and she's going through fatigue as well since day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. But she's just so focused. And her journey on these tours, I think she was 17th the first time, then 11th, then 7th, and of course she won it last year.
Now, you're a bit of a technical wizard. Steep climb, long, prolonged steep climb. Any change in the technique from your normal cross-country course?
I think especially a climb, almost like Lance Armstrong would say on hill climbing on the bike, a very high cadence is much better than pushing heavy gears. So short, sharp tempo. Keep the flow of energy. I think that is the secret for attacking this hill.
And the tendency is, as you get tired, to lean forward, try and get the arms to do more work. In fact, you want to do the opposite.
Yeah, it's difficult when the legs are so fatigued. But yes, you want to keep the hip bone as far forward into the hill as possible. And that is the best transfer of energy up the slope rather than down the slope.
Yeah, so get the hips forward. Those who look as though they're standing nice and upright may be moving a little bit quicker. The yellow dots representing 3 of the main contenders today. Kowalczyk is the yellow, a long way clear. That is a 2-minute gap between herself and the red dot, which is Mariana Longa. And Longa, she's done well this year. She finished down in 8th last season. She'll enjoy the climb, and here it goes. She's one of the lighter figures as well.
Sorry, Patrick, just getting news through. It's very surprising. Anna Haag hasn't started. She's lying 7th in the Tour. Prizes are at stake. World Cup points are at stake. For 7th place, she would have picked up 144. She must be, well, very unwell. That
must be a health issue. Disappointing for Anna Haag because she had such a good day. One stage for the double pursuit, beating her teammate Justine Charlotte Kaller across the line on that occasion. It was a tight race, but Haag looking good. And of course, Haag proved herself at the Olympics last year, so we know that in the future we're going to see something pretty good from her.
Do you know what, Patrick? I think that Therese Johaug now has a chance of catching Mariana Longa for a potential 2nd place. It would be a miracle. In fact, there she is.
Yeah, Johaug absolutely flying, and she's living by the Armstrong mantra of keep the tempo high.
Well, look at the contrast. Follis in the background, there she is. Therese Johaug, almost twice the tempo, but she always is high tempo.
Well, she's skiing as if she believes she can win this. It is an absolutely astonishing feat so far. She's left Petra Majdic behind. I don't think there's any surprise. This isn't really the sort of course that Majdic likes.
It's not, and I think Petra Majdic, her technique as well, she admits it herself, it's not a strong point. Classic is her stronger technique.
Do you think they'll ever have a classic climb up the Alpe d'Huez?
Hey, that would be something, wouldn't it? Difficult for the waxing. It'd be almost a herringbone run most of the way.
Well, I have to say, the Tour has been fantastic this year. No complaints amongst the athletes. Everyone enjoying it. Of course, the sprinters would like more sprinting. Those hill climbers would like more hill climbs to do. That's only natural. But what really pleased me was to hear Jürg Kapol saying this is still a young baby. We're learning, we're changing, we're developing it every year, and that development will not stop this year. So we can expect a few more changes next year. What would you, Mike, as we watch Charlotte Kalle go through the first intermediate at 5.6, what would you like to see changed for next year's Tour?
I would like to see, when you look at the Tour this year, those who are winning are picking up most of, if not all of, the bonus seconds in the distance races. The 20 kilometre for the men, the 10K for the women. Petter Northug picked up 1.5 minutes. Cologne picked up 1 minute. Taking them away, I think the Tour would be more exciting. Take those bonus sprints out. You would need something to keep the pace strong.
Okay, well, let's have some sprints, but have money as the prize rather than points.
Quite possibly, then you would not see the gaps. You wouldn't see the gaps that we're seeing now at the front. Good point. Now, you were talking earlier about making this an uphill race followed by a direct descent. I think that's a great idea as well.
Well, that would certainly even things up with Kowalczyk. She would not like to descend down here. Now, look at this. Johaug on fantastic form. This is really astonishing skiing. She's gone straight past Ariana Follis, and Follis is no slouch. 37.01 Follis's time on the climb last year, and she's one of the world's best. She's been in the top 5 of the World Cup rankings for the last 3 seasons, and Therese Johaug has just blasted past her. It will be interesting to see the response from Follis now.
Well, I was amazed Follis didn't react instantly. She just thought, let her go, and I wonder if Follis is thinking that Johaug's pace is too much, that she might burn up. I don't think so, but maybe Follis is hoping for that to happen.
Well, you've also got to remember that Therese Johaug had an incredibly hard race yesterday, racing alongside this woman, Justyna Kowalczyk. Surely that's going to take its toll.
Wow, incredible, incredible. I mean, she really is. Therese Johaug focused on second place. Well, look at that. She can feel second place now.
Yeah, but she hasn't really got to the steep part of the climb. So this wonderful tempo that we first saw back in 2007 at the World Championships in Sapporo, where she took medals in the 30 kilometre. We know the tenacity of the woman. We know that she will collapse before she stops on this climb. But every human has their limits.
This is amazing. You know what? This is the most viewed race in cross-country skiing, the women's and the men's, this climb. And she was famous already in Norway, but with this incredible move forward, they will be watching.
Just 2 negative signs, not that I'm trying to put the dampeners on Johaug's performance. One, look over the shoulder to see what Follis is up to, and then constantly looking up to see what's going up in front. Is this not about relaxing, getting into a rhythm, keeping that tempo, trying to block out everything that's going on around you?
I think when you look at the best athletes, you're right in that zone where they're only focused on themselves. But well, maybe Teresa's just thinking, I've got to throw all caution to the wind to try and move into second place, then get into that incredible zone.
Just checking the time, Majdic now exactly 59 seconds behind Mariana Longa, and she started exactly 1 minute. So no games from Majdic on the leading 2 at the moment. Welcome back to the climb of the Alpe d'Huez, the most spectacular of the cross-country races, but ironically it's the slowest of the cross-country races that we will have all season. They are skiing up a downhill ski slope. Some call it a black slope. It's more like a difficult blue, and they've now got to the steeper section where they start to wind, Mike, so they're not going directly up the climb, as we see Johaug now just 19 meters or so behind second place, having started in 5th. And the other bit of news, Mike, is that Johaug has caught 1 minute 5 seconds on Petra Majdic. She's only got to catch another 2, and she could move into first place.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kowalczyk up the front, her tempo is nothing like Johaug's, and her pace is an awful lot slower than Johaug.
Now, is Kowalczyk getting any news as to what is going on?
I think that her coaches, and she's got plenty of advice up this mountain, they will be telling her that Therese is on an amazing charge.
Now this is where it's difficult, because she has to really keep it going. She needs to get past Mariana Longa. Longa somewhat obliged to move to the side and let the